Hello, readers and writers. I am MJ. It is Friday. Haha, it is Friday. And that means it is time for writer sprints. Um, so first of all, thank you all for being here. I am always normally a chaotic mess. Today, perhaps even more so. Um, so yeah, fun times. Hello, Marissa. Glad you could join us. And hello, welcome. Let me know what you all are working on and reading. I tonight will be trying to finish out my outline, my chapter by chapter outline of book 2 of the Lunar Abyss series. It was supposed to be done by now, but it isn't. So hopefully tonight I will either get it finished or get it really close to being finished so I can finish it tomorrow. But this is an important step. I'm trying not to rush. And, the whole my car getting totaled by a garbage truck definitely put a damper on my yesterday. So, it's been a wild, wild day. All right. StreamYard is like updated and it's really slow and sluggish, so it's driving me a little bonkers. Reading Oblivion's River, which is romance, and Our Girl in Disguise, a historical fiction about the first female Pinkerton detective. I don't know what a Pinkerton is, but that sounds really fascinating. So I vote you read Girl in Disguise. Which my vote has no say whatsoever, because I know it's going to depend on how you're feeling them. Versus ordering a banner for Read Between the Stars because I don't have time to dive into novella edits right now. Fair enough. Fair enough. Where are you getting it from? I can't remember the site you put, but no, I didn't suggest Vistaprint. Vistaprint is extremely expensive. I got mine from Uprinting, which is cheaper. But there's other ones out there as well. I just have used Uprint for the last couple of years. So that's I know they're like legit. So I'm gonna finish Oblivion and then continue with Girl. All right, that makes sense. Oh, Canva's also way more expensive than Uprinting. It comes down to like shipping charges though at that point with something like as big as the banner. Because I'm not sure what Canva charges for shipping, and if it's free then it may balance out. But with Uprinting, the actual printing charges are less expensive, are less expensive. And I've only had problems with the little table displays that I got from them. Everything else has been pretty solid. And only the table displays is because they've melted. And I need to figure out how to fix them. The glue adhesive at the top. The actual part of like the printing's great. The actual stand part's great. I just have to figure out how to reattach that clothy material to metal with some adhesive that preferably does not melt. So yeah, I know there's other ones too. I know everyone loves Canva and loves Vistaprint, but every time I go to like be like, oh well, maybe I'll go there, it's like the prices are way out of my price range. So just why I suggest them. All right. So yeah. So the final kicker to them melting was Pueblo Pride. It was only 90 degrees that day, so I've definitely been at hotter events, but I was in a tented space, like I had my tent, but there was no trees where I was. And then for some reason, neither of the people on either side of me showed up. So there was no other tents like on the side of my tent. and so the sun was just hitting at all angles, and the gloom melted. And I tried using them at Storybook Brewing, and one of them fell down, and like the little pole that holds them up like flung onto the table next. I'm like, yeah, these are a hazard. So I put them all away and was really sad. So now I have to fix them before the end of September when I have my next event, because I like to use them, at least some of them. Maddie, not you driving halfway across the state today and me being the one who is late. I mean, to be fair, I was only up in Aurora, so it's not like halfway across the state. I think like the sideways ones would be definitely more like those would be more extreme, but it is funny. Um, Actually wasn't that bad of a drive. We got home like 45 minutes to spare, which was kind of wild. So did not expect it. All right, but you're not that late because we haven't even started our first sprint. What we're going to do now, I've got um I've got my in between timer. We're gonna start off with that. Yeah, it's awesome. It was a good drive. I was worried because I don't like change, and having to drive a rental car on the freeway was not fantastic. Okay, before we start, I'm gonna spend less than 30 seconds just going off for just a second. Okay, got a car from a rental company. It's a Mazda C whatever, but I used to drive a Mazda 5, so it's pretty similar to that. It's like the newer version of that. So no problems there, right? Like at least it's kind of familiar. They took out the charger part that connects it to Apple Play. So you can't get directions up on the screen. But whoever designed this car, there's no place in the car for you to actually put your phone to see the map on it. So I ended up getting so lost because I couldn't actually see my map to go to the directions, and like couldn't hear it because it couldn't connect to the freaking car. And it was a lot. Okay. Rant done. Thank you for listening. All right. Back to sprints. Let's go ahead and get started, and I will see you all back here in 30 minutes. Welcome back. I hope you had a great sprint. Um, Mine was fantastic. Let me know how yours went below. Before I tell you what I was able to accomplish, I wanted to ask Winter, how are you feeling? How are your ribs doing? Are they like getting better at all? Are you able to move around? Well, I know you were moving before, but like without less pain. Um, but yeah, I came in with 6 chapters still left to outline. I've been slogging through it, and I think the last sprint I did on Wednesday, not on YouTube, um, I got 2 chapters done, maybe. Um, so then took yesterday off completely, but I just got 3 chapters done in that sprint. So extremely happy. I only have 3 chapters left, and then I can actually like start getting ready to write this book. Anyways, so thrilled and such a huge relief, honestly. Um Marissa said this classical music makes me feel like I'm a Victorian woman furiously writing a letter to my ex-lover. As long as it's gay, that sounds awesome. Maddie said, that sounds like a playlist I have saved here on YouTube with rain and cackling fire sounds added. Honestly, it may be the exact same music because I got it off of YouTube's like free music site to make sure that, I didn't like put anything on that people weren't okay with me putting on. So it probably has a very similar vibe, or it might actually be the exact same music. So that's is funny. Um, yes, very funny. Oh, looks like Marissa's gone. Our order banner is ordered. That is fantastic. Um, and with no year on it, we can keep reusing it. And you printing was so cheap. Okay, so cheap. You're probably gone, but still, not only is it like cheaper than the other places, mine has held up so well. So I've had it a year now, just about, and it's been in multiple hailstorms, multiple rainstorms, over 100-degree heat, um, and really intense heat multiple times, and it's still doing really, really good. So I'm very, very happy with that purchase. Um, Mandy said I went to a new coffee shop downtown and the city was throwing a block party, so I walked around and got free popcorn, but it did make me late. But the sprint went really well. The sprint went really well. Good. Um, I'm glad the sprint went really well. That sounds like fun. Like things like that you have to just kind of take and enjoy when they come along because that sounds like it was a really cool vibe. And free popcorn. I mean, not my thing, but I mean, you gotta take it when you can get it, right? Joe, 300 words. That is awesome. Good job. What project are you working on tonight? Ribs are healing. Good. It's slowly starting to suck less when I lay down. Oh, good. I'm assuming you still have a good several weeks of recovery, but I am glad that they are starting to not be as horrible. Um, because yeah, that's a lot. and 22% left of your current read. Awesome. Because I want you to get the other one tonight for no other reason than just because it sounds cool. And you can tell me if it sucks right away or not. You know, since you keep adding books to my TBR, it will never end. I was happy to stumble upon it and the caffeine helped. I was so tired earlier. Fair enough. It has been a day, honestly. Um, Not as bad as yesterday, not as many phone calls and having to talk to people. Oh my gosh, y'all. I talked to like a million people yesterday. It was horrible. I hated it so much. Only had to talk to a couple today. Oh. It's a fantasy book about generals that are trying to negotiate leave that I can't decide if it should be YA or adult. I think that it would go over very well as YA, but I will always vote for adult. But that sounds really cool. Very cool. Probably at least another 3 weeks before they're back to normal. I mean, 3 weeks is not horrendous. I mean, that's still a long time in total, but I was thinking like 6 more weeks. So, um, oh, wrong one. I've already started Girl in Disguise, and so far I'm enjoying it. Oh, good. Okay, that's mostly just what I wanted to know. Um, Not leave, peace. Oh, negotiating peace. I guess that makes more sense. I was like, maybe they're soldiers, just like I don't know. I built up a whole scenario in my head over why they were negotiating leave, and then was wondering if it was just part of the book or the full novel. But negotiating peace does make, I guess, more sense. But negotiating leave maybe should happen at some point in the novel. Now that you've put it out there, manifested it. It sounds horrible. I'm glad you have the rental and stuff today. Yeah, me too. It is still going to be horrible. Oh, until I get it back, and then hopefully it won't be horrible. Dude, I had to just like pick a body shop because they couldn't tell me if they had any recommendations, and I've never been to a body shop anywhere near here, and like, how do I know? Oh my gosh. And now I'm like, what if they made the wrong decision? What if they're horrible? What if I get my car back and it sucks so bad and I can't drive it? And then I'm stuck in this position all because a freaking garbage truck decided to ram into my car when it was parked in my driveway. I haven't been escalating all day today at all. Can you tell? Um, I was also imagining a fantasy comedy of generals trying to get some time off. Yeah, that would have been funny too. Spillers do need more vacation. Soldiers. Yes, soldiers do. Um, I don't know if that's really spelling as much as just typing, and I do it all the time. I mean, my spelling is horrendous anyways. I'm nearly certain I'm dyslexic, so although I was not that was not added to my long alphabet of list of diagnoses. But so I do have so many issues with spelling, but then I go to like post on threads and I like think it's great, and then autocorrect had moved some word to like whatever. And then I'm like, look at me, I'm the writer that can't even put a correct word down on my social media. Anyways, so all that to say, no worries here. We got you. And it made for some great plot ideas. And now someone's going to have to write a story about soldiers going on leave. My dad tells me I'm dyslexic because he never once got me tested for it. I mean, it is hereditary, but it's not like 100% hereditary. So if he has it, that doesn't necessarily mean you have it. But yeah, like I never realized it was abnormal to read just as well upside down as um the correct way. Um, I was always the kid that, like, when we were sharing a book in school, like, I just sat at the top of the book so I didn't have to be next to a person and I could read just fine. And then just the way I skip letters and stuff. So I definitely know I have enough signs that if I ever were to go get a diagnosis, um, that I'm pretty sure that it would, but I also don't see a reason to get a diagnosis as an adult because it'll, for me, it would just pretty much lead to the same modifications that I already do now. Um, but I don't feel that way about everything with diagnoses, so I don't know. It's one of those things. And there's our next timer. I was definitely feeling the fall vibes today, especially as I was driving back from the Denver area, and it was like not even 6 o'clock, and it was starting to get dark outside, and I was like, okay, yeah, September really is fall in Colorado. I have to remember that. I have to reset my season timer from California, where we just kind of randomly guessed when the next season is. So I just used the calendar, and here they're actually like show signs of them. Anyway, so very much time for Halloween. And so let's go ahead and get started on our next sprint. And I will see you all back here in 30 minutes. Welcome back. Time is up. Part of that timer. Oh, I skipped off before we got to the Happy Halloween sign. I'll have to do better at that next time. How did the sprint end up going for you all? Um, oh, YouTube just gave me a very interesting pop-up. I'll have to look at that later. So pretty good. I think I might have been off on my chapter counts of what I needed to do because I still have 2 chapters left to outline, or maybe I only did 2 chapters this sprint, which is fine. I'm really happy because I'm pretty sure I can get the next 2 done in the next sprint. Because the very last chapter is not exactly long and I already know how it ends, so I'll just need to get it written down. So it went well, though I did get distracted by looking at master's programs. So what else is new? You and your obsession with higher education. I tell you, I was just talking with someone else about how, well, my strong opinions on master's programs. So I will not put that live on a stream though. 13% left to go. Woo! You're making great progress. You're like 22% last time. That's fantastic. Less protected than the first one. Phones are distracting. They really are. So we're computers. I need to actually close my laptop screen because I am working in my writing journal for right now. But yeah, phones are very distracting. Yeah, I will. I'll put it in there. There's some things you can't say and leave on the internet forever, especially considering other aspects of my life. That's why I don't think that's my what. That's why I'm not sure if it got Oh, there we go. That's why my professors always skip masters and go to PhD. I mean, if you're gonna go for a PhD, yeah, absolutely. But I honestly think a PhD is worse at this point. So I do have a master's in developmental psychology. I did not get a PhD because I still had kids at the time, and I'm not going back to get my PhD. Even though it was always been my plan, because of my strong opinions and the whole concept, anyways. Um, but yeah, you can earn up to a PhD in creative writing. I mean, yeah, that would actually be cool. I wouldn't mind being a doctor of having a doctor of creative writing. I'm not sure my psychology background would really apply for me applying would like do the prerequisites for applying for a program. That would be pretty awesome. Um, but only okay. The problems with I'm just gonna say it. The problems with higher education in the sense of master's and PhD programs is that it's just a perpetual cycle of abuse. It is the like, and it's not exclusive to every program, so you can get into a good program, but there is kind of this concept of I had to go through it to get here, so you have to go through it also. And then the stuff that you just go through is kind of ridiculous. Like me having a 6 hour midterm that took over 4 blue books of handwritten work where we had to close book. I mean, that's not healthy, and that's not even like the abuse part of it. Um and it's I think it is excellent for people who have their PhDs, and I think it's excellent for those of us who made it and got our masters. But I think the system, potentially, depending on the program, is not always a healthy thing to do. And a lot of people who do get their PhD program will sit and tell you not to get it because it is such a horrible experience. And a lot of them developed a lot of chronic conditions because of it or have them exacerbated. It's a lot. So, um, yeah. And the problem, well, being a professor doesn't pay very well at all. There's very few tenured positions, and then you become like a um an adjunct. I don't know why words aren't wording. And then they pay you like less than minimum wage considering the time that you have to put in to do the work. But it's a lot of fun working with the students. So I have taught at the community college level because I do only have a master. I don't want to say only because the highest level education I have is a master's degree. Um, there are some ways you can still teach with a master's degree at a university level, but I only taught at community college level. And it was a lot of fun working with the students, but the pay, I had to stop because the pay wasn't even enough to like pay for the time for a babysitter. So, my bachelor's was like, professors legit told me I'd never make it in my industry, the one I work in right now. Yeah, fair enough. It's, um, it's It's wild. I have so many stories, but I've already said way too much for online. I know nothing about Denver University. Is it a hybrid program, an online program, or an in-person program? Because if it's in person for a PhD program, most likely they will require you to quit your job. Also, um, not every program, but a lot of PhD programs do require you to be involved in it full time. So yeah, full residency. Um, yeah, there's a lot to consider. I mean, you're still at a place in your life where you're more robust than me who is older. Um, so that may still be, you know, may still be something that physically you could handle. But I after completing my master's, honest, and after working in higher education for over a decade, it's just, yeah, it's a goal that I kind of let go of. Although doctor is the only gender neutral title um that is like universally accepted, and that is a strong reason why I would go back to get my doctorate, honestly. That reason alone. But anyways, I have our next timer pulled up. We are at an hour and 24 minutes. So, unless you all feel very strongly about staying late, which I would do if you would, but I think this is going to be our last timer. For me, this next timer is good because I should be able to finish what I need to today. But if you like, please do another one. Let me know. And the time length you would like it to be. If you're good with just one more, let me know. We've got one. I'm good with this being the last. So, any other takers while I pull up the next timer? This is the weird one that for some reason the title says 5 minutes, but it's actually a 30-minute timer. And I tried to fix it and it didn't fix. So, I think we're going to go with this is going to be the last time overnight, which would put us at 2 hours, which is our normal sprinting time. And I know will leave me in a very productive place. So I will see you all back here in 30 minutes. Welcome back. I hope that sprint was productive, and let me do the screens correctly. I do think that that is going to be the last sprint of tonight. I ended up getting my story outlined, and I'm just like mentally wiped from the last couple of days. And for some reason, I think my face is red. Not even sure why. Yay, it's fantastic. You finished your first book. Did you like it or not like it or somewhere in the middle? Such a specific question, I know. Yeah, so I've got story outlined. When I come back for sprint on Monday, I will be working on getting the first full draft of it together. So just a reminder that I am back on sprint on Monday and Wednesday, or Monday and Friday for September for sure. Probably October, but for now, for sure September is Monday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time to about 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you can join, make sure that you have subscribed. If you want notifications about specific sprints, hit the notification on those sprints so you get reminded to come. It has middle book syndrome, but it was good. I feel that is what I'm trying to prevent in my next book. The one I'm working on now is I do not want it to have middle book syndrome. So you have a great night as well. One last thing, if you have not picked up Inside a Dark Space, just a reminder that it is currently on sale for just 99 cents. It will be going off sale this weekend, so make sure you pick it up before the weekend is over if you are even remotely interested in it, because I do not know when it will be going on sale again, probably not for at least a little while. Thank you for everyone who has picked it up, who is potentially going to read it. I'm so happy with how it launched, and that is all thanks to you all. So a huge thank you for that. And that's awesome. I hope you enjoy it. It's aptly named Inside a Dark Space. It's kind of a darker novel, but it comes from places. But I hope you all have a wonderful evening. And as always, keep writing, keep reading, and keep dreaming. And until next time.